Okay, we're back. I put an extra while I was waiting for the other thing to try and render, which it wasn't able to. Um, I decided that I wanted to put an extra row in here and make this a little rounder, like his nose, and I also shrunk it down a little bit. And I think that's pretty much all I did. I'm looking at this and I feel like this area is just too faceted. This is just too big of a straight area. So what I want to do is just I think I'm going to take this line all the way up through his head. So I'm going to right click and just connect that. And when I do, let's grab this two verts and now I can make this rounder. And let's push this in and pull this one a little bit out. And let's use it to make his head a little rounder too as well. And what I also want to do is from a top view, I'm just going to take these lines that go down the top of his snout and up and over his head. So I'm going to at least do one split there, and I'd probably do more than one, depending on how high the resolution on this model needed to be. And as it goes through to the back of his head, maybe to about right there at least, I'm going to do a connect. And what I can now do is grab like these verts and these verts here, and as I pull them back, the back side of his head starts to round out a little bit. And I'm just looking for that round shape, so if I want to bring that back forward, I can later. From a front view, I can grab this and just start to make his head a little bit more round. Let's take this vert here and do the same thing. So it just starts to make a difference in how he looks. So I've got these really odd edge loops here, and pull that down. Okay, so I probably want at least one more loop going horizontally. And let's take this stuff and just make the front of his head actually rounder, and same with the back of his head. You want to always go back and get rid of all those angles like that, because they just ruin the model. So something like that. And let's build his ears. So now that I have this extra loop, and in class we had to kind of make an extra space for it, but right now I've got this, and let's bring this a little closer to the center. I think this would be good right here. So what I want to do is I want to right click and extrude and just bring it up slightly, and then I'm just going to take that and pull it up to wherever it is I want. So let's just say I want to do something about this tall. I was looking over at the reference and I wasn't looking at what I was doing. Alright, so let's scale it a little bit front to back, not a lot, and let's go ahead and do a marquee drag across those horizontal edges. Right click and say connect, and I can just scale that up. And obviously if I go past the center line, his ears are going to like collide with each other. So I'll bring it back like that. And we want it to have a kind of an S-curve shape to it. So I'm going to take those two edges and connect them. When I did that, when I said two, I made the loop all the way around the ear. I want to bring this one out, and I want to take this one back. So I get that kind of an S-curve going on. And let's just take this stuff right here and bring it up really close to there, so it's kind of like that. So now what I want to do is start to round out the back of his ear. So I could grab this, go backwards and take this stuff and go forwards. So I'm just giving his ear some kind of cooler shape. And take these two verts in the back, and we're going to kind of push them towards the center. So what I'm doing is just taking this geometry in the back of his ear and making use of it so that it looks like his ear has some depth to it. Okay, let's bring this in a little bit. So again, how you would do the front is we can click on this part, right click and say inset. We want to do a tiny inset, and you don't want to upset this at the top. You can do a bigger one and just go back and fix that geometry up there if you want to. So that's sometimes easier to get what you want in terms of the shape around the ear, and then just go back up and fix this. So I'll just take this and bring it over, take this vert and bring it back the other way, and go up. And so now I've got kind of the shape I was looking for at the top of his ear. I can take the whole thing down so I get a little more space around that. So now if I wanted to, I would take that and let's just do another inset and push it back. So if I hit W, I can push this back. So parts of it you probably don't want to go back too far. So I'll bring this part forward, and then the top part, especially here, up here. I could just take that edge and collapse it. So I get this little edge right here that's inverted. And I just right click and say collapse. And we'll just put that back inside his ear where it belongs. Got the wrong edge. Alright, so let's take those two verts and bring it this way, and these two and bring them that way. And I think we're good. That back a little bit and down some. Alright. So something like that. For the eyes, what we want to do is we want to do an inset. So because we want a space between the eyes, and currently we wouldn't have one. So if I right click and say inset, that's going to give me a space between his eyes. If I right click and say bevel, it's kind of like doing extrude and inset together. So you can do that to get like an eye shape. So if I come back here and get the vertices on this lid, I can grab this and just kind of move it back. And on a character, you would actually have a separate eyeball. You wouldn't have it built in. You would have an eye socket, and then there would be an eyeball. But here, we can just make it like this. It's fine. So what I want to do is let's grab this, and I'm going to do an inset, and I'm just going to push it in, the whole thing, and we'll just scale it down. and that'll be his eye. So we can grab this ring here and connect, and because we have that, we can take these verts here and bring them up, which gives a little bit of roundness to the bottom of the eye. We can take this and move it towards the center, which gives a little bit more roundness to the eye. Bring that up. So the same thing on this side. Let's bring it over, grab this, bring it up. So we're getting something like that. Okay. He's got big bushy eyebrows, so we can accomplish that. Usually I'm going to make a separate piece for it, but for now let's just do it this way so you can see what I'm going to do. What I want to do is I've got this edge right here, and I'm tempted to change this edge flow from going around to going up, because I need a little bit of geometry here in his head right there. So I'm tempted to just be a really easy fix to connect all that, and then just connect this back like this. And just connect that like that. So in doing that, I've made some triangles and made a mess of stuff, but that'll work for now. So what I want to do, like anytime, like I said before many times, anytime you have vertices, let's take advantage of those vertices. So I'll bring that down a little bit so it curves a little bit. Push that in so that it looks rounder. And let's grab this stuff and move it maybe up slightly, maybe forward slightly. This one could come forward a little bit. So what I want to do is turn this into an eyebrow. And I'm just going to build it in. So I want to bring this down a little bit. Let's take his eye a little bit like this. His eyelid. A little bit like that. So that I can have space to put an eyebrow in the front of his head. So let's take this. And it really doesn't have enough dimension to it, but it is what it is. So let's do an inset, and let's do an extrude, and what I can do is just convert that edge to a selection and bevel it. So, or chamfer and max. So when I chamfered it, I don't want this new edge. And it's not a new edge, it was there left over. So I want that to be rounder. So I can do something like this. And his eyebrows touch in the... So I'm going to go back. Let's do an inset. And I'm going to use the cut tool, and I'm just going to say, okay, let's come out from this edge, and I'm going to cut this through like that, and this edge, I'll cut it through like this to the center line. And what I want to do is take this and come down here about like that, and take this one and bring it down to about there. So I know you tend to make a mess of this stuff, and then it kind of comes back to you what you want to do. Um, and for me, to clean up the geometry, I'm just going to clean it up in a minute when I'm done with here. So I wanted this for my eyelid or eyebrow. And that's doing weird things, which is unpleasant, especially when we're at 15 minutes. So let's grab this vert here and move it forward. Oh, come on. All right. So um, so what I want to do is when you have, I always push the window key. So sorry. So it's amazing. It's the first time I've done it this morning. I'm going to collapse this and collapse this, because I had those polys were really so close together that there's no reason they couldn't be one. And look at the front of this and see how this geometry can get simpler. So if I take this line and just get rid of it, and let's take this line here, and I think I'm just going to get rid of that. So something about like this. So if I take this faces again and move it forward, then I can start to shape this. So let's take this and move it up, and we'll take this one and move it over slightly, and this one I want to move down, and this one I want to move down, and that just leaves us with this vertex here. So that kind of gives me the shape that I want. His eyebrows are a little bit bushier. Let's take this edge here. If I grab this whole edge, I'm just going to move that edge back, and let's take these vertices and move them forward. So this is not as cut and dry as most things. Usually you can get it to kind of a formulaic thing where it seems a little simpler, like you've refined it a little bit. In this case, it's not so much. I'm going to bring this out like that and maybe scale it down just a little bit. Something like that. So probably I would do something like this for his eyebrow if I was just going to build it in. It'd probably be a lot simpler just to make a separate shape and put it on top of his face and not have it cut in like that. But here we just decided to have it cut in, or I decided to have it cut in. He's got a little bit of a negative thing, so like a subtle, this is going down. So you don't want this quite so happy. You want to just rotate it a little bit, and then you pull it down a little bit. So, and maybe I've got a little crazy with this gel, so we can bring it in a little bit. So that's kind of the direction I want to go with that. So now I would need to shape this, because as you can see, the head's way too small and everything else is way too big. But we're almost at 20 minutes and this is ridiculously long. Then I might have to cut this video in half. So anyway, hope it helped. Let's put a really quick mirror on this. And looks like my mirror is like totally bananas. So let's try it one more time. Alright, so when you get like a weird pivot point, let's do world. There we go. Something like that. So if Wile E Coyote was a bodybuilder, this might be how he looked. So, alright, we'll make another last video for shaping.